Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru. Thank you for joining, and a special welcome to all those who are seen and all those who are unseen. So thank you for continuing our journey which began 5-6 weeks ago. It began with the panic from the pandemic, and we've experienced different things in that space between then and now. And really the reason that we have, how we can support, how we can provide understanding, how we can provide practical methods in order for all of us to make use of where we are, you know. So the first thing I anticipate that the outcome of this is only going to be positive. That attitude, that perception can greatly assist us as we're going through. And we are going through months, and this transformation, now we're on an edge. We are in a situation where we are on the edge of change. We are on like a cliff edge, and things are going to change quite quickly, and things are going to, in many ways, well, they are beyond your control, right? So this change that we're going through is the nature of truth. This is what truth means. Truth means that which cannot be changed. And the thing that cannot be changed is change itself. We are all in a process of moving forward. We're all in a process of change. So how do we adapt to this change? This is the nature of these discussions we're having and these sessions we're having. That we go through a process of acceptance. And acceptance has a number of stages to it. And the first stage that we looked at, and we've been working on it, is resistance. And we've changed the perception. Look at it, you know, this pandemic, this scam-demic, this plan-demic is really not what you think it is. And as you can see, the figures are falling apart. People are starting to wake up. What we've been telling months ago, that by May, June, July, we're going to have riots. And those riots are starting. People are starting to protest. Why? Because people are starting to see through the bullshit. And it literally is that. It's basically to hold you in a space of low vibration. So let me just bring some understanding here. So because part of our journey is the understanding. So if we have an understanding, the mind can make some sense of it. So let me just take you through some fundamentals. So all that you see around you, including you and me, are all made out of molecules, compounds, and those are made out of atoms, or what you'd call atomic structures, and they are really just particles which are spinning. Depending on how fast they spin, they create a field. You are fields which make us up. This is our song. So Guru Nanak says, Gawe Pavan Pani Basanta. You know, it's the all that's around you is singing. And why is it singing? Is because that's what you are. You are a vibration. Now, a vibration is effectively something that is how many times it pulsates within, say, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So say within 5 seconds, you could have 1 pulse. So, or you could have 50 pulses within the 5 seconds. So one is high vibration, one is low vibration. Because you are created out of vibrations, it is very easy to influence you. And we use anyone who uses vibrations from the outside will influence you. One good example is this: you put a 2-year-old child, 6-month-old child in front of music with a beat, and you'll find that there's some rhythm that comes about. They start moving. Why? Because rhythm is something that's fundamental to humanity. Why? Because we are vibrations, we are sounds. So we resonate with certain sounds, meaning that we become excited when we hear that sound. Or there are some sounds that dampen us, that allow us to step, become um, less, vibration goes lower. When we are in fear, your vibrations go lower. This is why detrimental to your awakening process, your transition. So as you see, we can see now through some of this scam, and we can see through the figures are falling apart. And it's important to realize that whenever something is bombarded at you through propaganda media like the BBC, ITV, CNN, and all that other stuff, it's 9 times out of 10 it's a distraction, because there's something else going on. And that something else that's going on could be to do with 5G technology, could be to do with vaccinations, could be to do with tracking people, could be to do with, well, they can't get to work. They don't even know whether they will have a job in 6 months' time, or 2 months' time, or 3 months' time. People have mortgages to pay. People have everyday resources, expenses. And obviously, this is some level of concern. This will inevitably create mental anxiety, which will create depression over time. It's obviously increasing stress. Being locked in is increasing stress. Covering your face is reducing the amount of oxygen that you're able to breathe in, and therefore that's stressing your body again. All of this stress is going to make you ill. So it's important, as we've been saying throughout these talks, begins with the mind. So meditation is stage one. With meditation, there are other ways to reduce stress. When we get stressed, one of the things within our biology that changes is the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve is the longest nerve that you have. It connects you to all the different organs that you have. And it's the nerve that communicates to pretty much everywhere in your body, and including the spine. It is a fundamental part of your internal electrical structure. When you get stressed, this nerve is impacted. And when this nerve is impacted, it impacts all your organs as well. So one good way to stimulate this nerve in a healthy way, a really good way, is early in the morning when you wake up, wash your face or splash your face with cold water. It's got to be cold water as well, right? Cold water. Sit down, draw a slow, deep breath in, really filling your stomach up, your chest up, and as much of the breath as you can. So splash your face, big deep breath in, and then very gently and slowly, as no escape. The longer it takes, the better it is. And this will stimulate and reset your vagus nerve, right? This will reset your vagus nerve. Meditation is the best way to do it, but these are other techniques to enhance it. If your vagus nerve is balanced, then a lot of your biology inside gets balanced. So it's important to counteract the fear that is being generated around you. And I would suggest that, look, if you know a little bit of biology or a little bit of nerve virology, just do some research. And you will notice that covering your face when you're coughing or when you're eating makes sense. But covering your face just when you're walking around breathing actually is doing more harm to you than good. So please do some research in this. Do not muzzle yourself up like dogs that can't bark, because expression is really important now. You need to be able to speak your truth. You need to be able to speak your truth. If you feel there's something fishy, you point it out and you say there's something fishy. Don't hold it inside you. It will become your illness. It will become your disease. So there's an agenda behind all of this, right? There's an agenda behind this scam. So wake up to that. wake up to that. The government has never, never looked at the interest of the people. Certainly not in the last 20, 30 years. It is a self-serving entity. They're interested in votes, they're interested in notes, they're interested in their absolutely drained. The National Health Service has been put through a huge amount of problems with very little resources. Government, you get up every Thursday and you clap your hands. The way to give support to people who are on the front line is to make sure they have right resources, enough resources, and they have enough. What's the point of clapping for these people? And it isn't the individuals who should be funding it, it's the government's responsibility, right? So we need to wake up to this. We need to wake up to the fact that there are spells that are being cast upon you and you don't even see them. And then you act in a kind of a semi-conscious way. Become aware of this. You know, integrity, your own integrity, dignity. Support the people who are doing the work. Yes, but support them by making sure they're safe. Support them by making sure they have enough resources and funding at home to be able to look after themselves. Clapping does not pay bills. Starting to also see protests. So in London, we've had expected to keep 2 meters distance, social distancing. But yet the police or the enforcers, remember that word, enforcers, can all be together. Somehow the virus doesn't affect them. What is happening? I'm not saying that there is not a virus out there. What I am saying to you is it has been blown out of absolute proportions. And it has been blown out of proportions and put into this situation so everyone's vibration is lowered. As a result, those individuals who have interest will be able to put forward their systems of control, right? So this whole process is restoring health. By restoring health, what do I mean is not just the mind, emotions, physical. I'm talking about human dignity. Talking about being human. Do you really think you're going to get this? Look around the people that you care for. Look around where you are. Do you really think you're going to get another point? Do you think you're going to get another chance? My friends, no. This is the only moment you have. It's not even your moment. Because if it was your moment, you could stop it. You can't even do this. Because we are part of the ocean. This is what consciousness means. You are conscious. You know what I'm saying. You can hear it, and you're thinking, and you're listening to what you're thinking. That capacity in you that's doing that is what's called conscious. So let's become aware. Let's become conscious. And in doing so, let us now start moving in our transformation. So to get to total acceptance or unconditional acceptance is very close to love. Love is a very high frequency. Fear is a very low frequency. Anger is a very low frequency. It lowers your frequency. After the angers come out, it lowers your frequency. And anger disturbs your physiology for about 6 hours. Right? So now notice what is happening. For many people, the fear is starting to become frustration and anger. This is how energy transforms. This anger, when the response comes out with the authority and putting people in detention, no different to concentration camps back in the Nazi world. So you will see that this is the agenda that's out there now, that if you protest, you can be arrested. If you question about the numbers, you are called a conspiracy theorist. This is a way. I call someone a conspiracy theorist. What I'm saying is I'm not like that. This is for you to divide you from others. You're not a conspiracy theorist, but they are. Why? Because they've questioned everything, questioned the numbers, questioned the very existence. That is this a natural occurring virus? And if it's not a natural occurring virus, then who had the audacity to launch this on humanity to be caught? They need to be shown who they are. And it doesn't matter whether it's an individual or a government. Humanity cannot be wiped out just using a chemical, a bioweapon. And my background in microbiology and chemistry tells me that there is something very suspicious about this particular genome, which they call the virus. So important to realize, question it. Question what the agenda is. Question what the agenda is. If you want fetal cells that are from aborted fetus, because these are the kind of components in a vaccination. So it's really important, really with fear. You don't damage it with toxins. You don't damage it with GMO. You don't damage it with Wi-Fi signals. You don't damage it with 5G. You don't damage it with all the processed foods. If you don't do this, then the body will repair itself. The body is very strong. So by putting certain practices in place, we can we can enhance the body's ability to actually deal with any of this stuff. You know, we're still, it happens now, it happens now. If you were truly in control, you would stop yourself aging. If you were truly in control, you would stop yourself feeling this or that. So recognize that your body is transforming right now. 50 million cells are dying, 50 million new cells are being regenerated or being created. This is the way existence is. On card. Remember, we all have an expiry date, except that. However, we are currently in a situation in which many people are finding a level of anxiety, depression, etc. increasing. So I want to provide some practical understanding on how we go from this resistance, this feeling of discomfort, this feeling of things don't seem quite right, this feeling of, if you were to ask yourself this question, are you happy at this moment? And I use the word happy very loosely here. Or are you in a state of sukh? So in the Indic languages, Buddhist languages, we have this word sukh dukh. Dukh means that when you are suffering. Suffering can be anything. Suffering can be feeling hungry. Suffering can be feeling anxious, feeling anger, feeling craving, feeling infatuated, obsessed, inability to control something, addictive behavior. These are all elements of suffering. Contentment, tranquility are non-suffering. So ask yourself, in this moment, are you suffering or not suffering? If you are suffering, if you feel a bit of anxiety, a bit of nervousness, worry, concern, that's fine, because it's telling you, have a look around, what's going on, where are you going to get your wages from, what's going to happen to your job. These are all valid questions that need to be addressed, and address them in your own time. However, we can't live in this fear. We use that fear to tell us what it wants to tell us, and now we move on. So acceptance, the feeling of discomfort, the feeling of suffering, the feeling that something ain't right, that's where we are. That's where we begin. Resistance. That was what we discussed over the last few weeks. Now we're moving on and saying, actually, what is it that I'm resisting? This is a great opportunity for you to open yourself to yourself. What is it in me that I'm actually resisting? Is it the fact that I don't feel secure? Is it the fact that I'm concerned about my job? What is it? So start looking at yourself by sitting by yourself, looking at your thoughts for what they are. Just look at the stories you're telling yourself. Write them down. It's okay. Write them down. There may be something of great value in that. This isn't meditation. but it's a great way of allowing ourselves to recognize what is it that I'm resisting. Let's become curious about it. There's a level of curiosity. So we begin with resistance, we go to curiosity. So over the next few days, I would like, if you wish to continue down this process, is to sit and say, what is it that I'm resisting? If I have a concern, what is that concern? Write it down. Make a note of it, because it will help you. It will help you in identifying what the resistance is. Because remember, this is a great opportunity to wake up. It's a great opportunity to become aware of your internal self. And internal self are thoughts, emotions, sensations. Let's just begin there. And then we go into that consciousness space. So from resistance to curiosity, and then as we go along, I will introduce the other three stages as well, which are tolerance, befriending, and acceptance. Now, in doing this, in just simply following this, what are you doing? And of making sure you walk barefoot on the grass, really important, as it will allow your body to maintain an alkaline space, which is good for your health. Lots of water as well. Attempting by ourselves, with ourselves, working upon ourselves to shift our vibration, to shift our states of awareness. And as our state of awareness changes, our consciousness expands. So consciousness is always there. It's just that we have like a narrow band of awareness. We are only aware. So wherever you're sitting, you only have awareness of the things that you can see. But the moment you close your eyes and listen, then your awareness goes beyond what you can see. Yeah, makes sense? So this awareness is what you are. This consciousness is what you are. This is your essential root. This is your essential form. The more you can sit in that, the more you can connect with that, the more you will realize that, look, my friends, don't walk around in the world like a dressed up corpse, never realizing who you are. This is a fantastic opportunity to realize who you are, but not just who you are, but what you are able to give the world, what you're able to give your sangat, your community, yourself, your family. Because history will judge us. History will judge us. This is a historical moment, biblical in some ways, for those people who are inclined to think in that way. But this is a historical moment. Grab it with both hands and move forward. Move forward knowing that you are going to go and are going through this transformation, a rebirth where you have the ability to now influence where you want to move in, the direction and the type of life that you want. Yeah. So much is going to change as we move along. Expect protests, expect price hikes as you've seen them with the food. Make sure you can grow your own food if possible. Make sure you connect with your local community. You know who's who. Because this is a moment where we can change the infrastructure. The economy is going to fall. We are going to go into a depression, and we are moved into the depression. We are in the early stages. So we're going to go through the recession and then a depression. So make sure you realize that. Do not waste your money where you don't need to waste it. The only wealth you have is the amount of food you've got in your pantry. Because if your credit card can't be used, or all of a sudden all bank notes and coins are considered to be contaminated, what are you going to eat, my friends? Yeah. So our wealth is what we have in our kitchen. Make sure you are armed. What do I mean by that? As I sing, as a Khalsa, part of the tradition, we have the 5 Ks. We have our Kara, we have our Kirpan, we have our source of power. Everyone's here is. Why do you think they get it cut off? Why do you think back in the day when you joined the police, when you joined the army, when you joined any kind of structure, they used to shave you? Why did they shave you? Because the act of shaving is surrender. You surrender. When two animals fight each other, The animal that flares up is the one that wins, is the one that demonstrates I'm bigger than you, right? So it flares up like a lion, etc. And the one that is defeated cowers, the same as removing your hair, right? Do not change your form. Your form is perfect. Your form is perfect. Once we is part of our health system, then we will realize that it doesn't make sense to do certain things that we have just blindly done for no reason because everyone else is doing it, so we will do it. So this is the time to grab your authenticity, to grab who you are, what you are. And by being what you are, who you are, you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself. You can't trust anyone else out there, but you can trust yourself. Yeah. So, time for change, time to know that this is a moment of transformation and that we are going to go through the ups and downs. And in going through those, there is a possibility that we will experience states which are uncomfortable. So meditation is absolutely critical. Please, please, please continue meditation. If you haven't got a source or a guidance, go to the Flame Center, download something, use one of the stuff that we've done previously. But every day, meditation at least once a day, if not twice a day. Absolutely critical because your mind is starting now, like everyone else's, is starting to now be influenced by what's going to start going on around us and which has already started. Yeah. So don't want to get involved or engaged in all that violence and anger. We want to transform this energy into a constructive way of using it for ourselves, for our own well-being, and all that which is around us. Okay. So let us begin our meditation. So if you wish to close your eyes and close your mouth, and as you draw a breath in, bring your focus to your body. Anything dominant in your body, an ache, a pain, a tightness, an itch. Now see how the body is situated. In other words, what's your posture like? Notice how the body is breathing. And now set the intention. Intention is simply to be present to your experience of now, your experience of life. That's all you want to do. Just simply experience this present moment of your life. We're not evaluating it, we're simply experiencing it. That's your intention. How are you going to do this? You are going to do this by focusing your attention on the breath. So bring your focus to your breath. Just beneath your nose. Notice how the breath begins by itself. And how the in-breath finishes and the out-breath begins by itself. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. On your next breath in, once again, come back And in particular, bring your focus to your seat, the chair or the ground that you're on. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact with the ground or the seat. And as you breathe in, bring this focus upwards so you become aware of your hips. From your hips, move this focus down your thighs towards your knees. From your knees, move this focus down towards your ankles. And on your next breath out, moving this focus all the way down to your feet. Notice the heel. Bring your focus back to bring your focus to your lower back. Next breath in, bring your focus to your shoulder blades. From your shoulders, move this focus down to your elbows. From your elbows, move this focus to your wrists, palms of your hands. Bring your focus to the back of your neck. Pull your chin in, notice the back of the neck. Notice the darkness. Notice how you can become aware of the darkness on either side of your eyes. And you can perhaps even take your focus all the way to the back of your head. Allow this part of the body to relax and soften, allowing your eyes to soften. Bring your focus to your tongue. Soft, allow it to soften. Scan your tongue from the back to the tip. On the surface, on the top of roof of your mouth. Notice the sensations on the inside of your cheeks. Allow your, as you breathe in, once again, just come back to your body. Notice how your body is embedded, it's fixed in the here and the now. You are located in a space, wherever you may be, you are fixed in that space. The air that you breathe, and in that moment, wherever you may be, on that piece of earth, which is connected to the entire globe right now. You're connected to all that is living and exists in the moment of now. In every ocean, in the environment, trees, grass, insects, grains of sand, drops of water, space, and beyond. This moment connects you with all of that. And this moment connects you with all the moments that have ever been. And this moment connects you to all the moments that ever will be. So not are you just fixed in space, you're also fixed in the moment. Ask yourself, how do you feel? It was the only moment that was you were ever going to have. Is it enough? Or is there something missing? Be honest with yourself. On your next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Notice how your awareness expands as you follow the sound of this bell. This bell demonstrates how the moment of now is infinite. Notice how your awareness has expanded. See if you can take your awareness to the silence at the end of the bell. Notice your experience. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose. Draw a slow, deep breath in. Hold that breath. And relax. Now hold your focus just beneath your nose. Allow your breath to breathe by itself. Stay with your breath. If you find your focus has drifted, distracted by some thinking, or a sensation, or my voice, notice the distraction. Bring your focus gently but firmly back to your breath. Notice how your in-breath has a start and an end. An end, a middle. This is the nature. Everything is a vibration. Everything has a start, a middle, and end. Restart, middle, and end. Now bring your focus to your out breath in particular and follow it all the way to the end until you notice the little gap at the end. Allow every out-breath to move you deeper and deeper into this moment. Now, does your breath feel warm or does it feel cold? Does your breath have a sound? Try and listen to the in-breath as it comes out. Listening to on gently expand your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body. Notice that the chair, wherever you're sitting, is still holding you in place. Notice how you have a sense of your body. All the way from your feet. You can sense the chair or the floor that you're sitting on. You can sense your back is straight and upright. That your arms and hands are comfortable and relaxed. You can sense your face. On your next breath out, open your awareness and begin to listen to the sounds around you. We're going to use the sound of the bell to simply draw our awareness into the stillness and the silence. Allow your awareness to penetrate the silence. Once again, just follow the bell. That's all you've got to do with the intention of listening to the silence. Don't strain, just gently listening, intently but gently. Now notice the stillness at the end of the bell. Notice how in this moment, what your experience is. Acknowledge your experience. Feels peaceful. Notice. Notice how this moment appears to be timeless. Once you're out of your mind, out of your ego, you realize you are timeless. You're eternal. This is your form. A form that doesn't experience fear or anger, but timeless. Moving beyond your thoughts, beyond your emotions, beyond your sensations, beyond your body. Simply being aware. This is your essential form. This is what you're about. There is no difference between you and the source, for you are the expression of the source. As you sit in this silence, the body begins to reset itself, rebalance, heal what needs to be healed, create what needs to be created. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to come back to your breath, drawing a few deep breaths in and bringing some of this experience back with you. Know that you are safe, know that you're looked after, and know that you are being guided by your heart and your intuition. Remain grounded, remain safe. As you hear the bell, bring your focus to your breath, drawing a few deep in your eyes. Take your time. Thank you very much for joining us, nearly for an hour. So hope to see you in a couple of days' time again. Be safe and know you're looked after. Thank you very much. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And thank you to my family around the world who have joined us. Thank you.